Welcome to another Hotel Tales What's Your Story chat series. I trust you are enjoying the year-end festive mood in a safe way and must be eagerly waiting for the calendar to turn 2021. Yes, 2020 has been a difficult year for many of us in the tourism and hospitality industry. Many experiences and lessons were learned, and I believe we have also become wiser as a result. Let's put all this behind us and let us look forward to welcoming 2021. Today, we have a really special guest in our chat series. The Honourable Minister Dato Sri Nancy Shukri, Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture Malaysia, hails from Kuching, Sarawak, a law graduate from the University of Hull, UK, and a postgraduate in EMBA from Ohio University. She started her political career since 2008 as a Member of Parliament in Batang, Sadong. From 2013 to 2016, she was the Minister in the Prime Minister's Department in charge of legal affairs. Between 2016 to 2018, she was again made Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, overseeing a huge portfolio in Land Public Transport Commission or SPAT, Commercial Vehicle Licensing Board for Sarawak and Sabah, known as CVLB, Malaysian Innovation Agency AIM, Malaysian Nuclear Power Corporation MNPC, and Malaysian Industry Government Group for High Technology, or more popularly known as MITE. In March 2020, she assumes the role and portfolio of the Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture Malaysia when COVID was at its peak and when the first movement control order was announced. Let's chat with our dear Honourable Minister and check out what's her story. Stay tuned. We welcome today YB Dato Sri Nancy Shukri, our Honourable Minister of Culture, Arts and Tourism, to a Hotel Tales chat series. This is a program where we engage with hoteliers around Malaysia and in the region. Welcome YB to the show.
Well, thank you, Hanley. Thank you for having me. And at least I know what you're doing, which is very much related to the industry that I'm in.
Yeah.
So thank you once again for having me.
All right. YB, we know your hands must be really full in 2020, having to deal with the most challenging year in the history of tourism. However, we are also hopeful that there is some light at the end of the tunnel now with the availability of vaccines soon. We hope this turbulent year will definitely be behind us, and we look forward to 2021, a good 2021. Yeah. And YB, having met you recently in your office, I know you have initiated so many plans to revive this badly battered industry. However, we are not going to talk about all these plans today because there are so many platforms our viewers can go to deeper understand your ministry's strategic efforts to bring tourism back to life. Today, being the last days of 2020, we want to close this chapter, right? Or we call it halas. Our Arabic friends will say halas, finish, gone. Right. Yeah, and we want to open a new one in 2021.
Yeah.
YB, please share with us your words of wisdom and your advice as the industry leaps on to this new year of 2021. Over to you, YB.
Thank you, Hanley. Once again, thank you very much for having me to share with you on all these. Well, spot on. What you have been saying was really all the right things that you have said about what happened in 2020. It has been really a roller coaster year for me, and of course for the whole industry, all the tourism industry. Economic devastations, uncharted waters, highest global unemployment rate and unprecedented times, name it. We didn't know what to do. Actually, when I first came in, I really did not know what to do. And of course, I'm facing new people with me, working with new people. So countries are closing their doors. There is no movement. The aviation industry was halted, and definitely this changes the whole facade of tourism sectors. I don't know actually when I wanted to start to say what when I had to discuss and talk to my people. When I say my people means the management teams, because we need to know each other. We need to get to know each other better in order for me to be able to relate with them on the industry. So and we are not business people. And I know a lot of people were very, very sad, very angry. A lot of things that they said were not really very pleasing to hear. But we have to cope, especially as a minister, new minister, and in tourism industry. We thought that we could do a lot of good things, nice things, but we have to face reality that we can't do much of it. So every day I've been discussing with my team, and I'm so glad that my team in MOTAC was really a very good team, because everybody was focused on what can we do. If you could recall, during that time, people could not move from home to office. A lot of there's a time when we learn about Zoom meeting. And then we tried to, but on our part, we have to ask for a special pass for us to go to the office, for us to really list down what are the things that we have to do. And that's the time when we started thinking of using online system, which everybody, I think that's the time when not many people who are really very familiar with the online system started to get themselves familiarized with it. The first thing I remember, the first thing that I said to my team, I said, we need to place food on the people's table. Now, how do we go about with it? So we started to brainstorm about the agencies that we are in, and then what can the agencies do? And I told I told them, I'm sure this is the beginning of the year. I'm sure you all have funds, FUNDS, okay? Funds to help the people. Now, make sure that we get our people. For example, you see behind me, this is my craft shop. We just had something going on earlier on. So it's all about how the craft tangan can help the industry players, especially like the weavers, those who produce baskets, produce whatever that they're producing. Now, how can we help them to sell the products? So they created e-craft bazaar. When they created e-craft bazaar during that time, actually they didn't really know what they wanted to, what they were going into. Surprisingly, it was really a success for Craft Tangan. We were able to bring in local crafters to sell and market their products online, and I was amazed by the participation of the people. There's so many of them suddenly went into e-craft bazaar, and then some of them, we have to face reality. Some of them from the rural areas, they could not participate, but the Craft Tangan staff, the handicraft staff, what they did was they helped to market their products for them. So apart from that, okay, we had a lot, I think quite a number, about 40, before there were a number of engagements with the hoteliers, engagements with the industry players. We want to listen to them because they are the experts. You want my words of wisdom? It's not from me. The thing is, they are the ones who gave me all these words to give me the strength for me to try to facilitate. We are in the government. The government doesn't do business. The business comes from them. But we are the ones who will be able to facilitate and expedite whatever that they want to do. Of course, business at that time is no business at all that can be done. But how else can we help them? So we discussed, we brainstormed on what we could do to help them, and then they're also giving us ideas. a lot of things could not move on, but except for those that could be done online. So we kept asking them to also promote online. But we even created competitions for our for the people, okay, for the people in outside there, to help to promote domestic tourism. Domestic tourism, where we discovered that there's a lot of things that we can promote which people do not know. And we know in terms of tour guides, they have been so used to promote and also to bring their tourists, the niche tourists from the various countries to the places that they have been very familiar with. But now, during this year, actually during the COVID-19, where people could not move on, what we did was we did our reskilling and upskilling for tour guides. So this is how we introduced to them about how they can tell stories, new stories about new products and local products, which they used to talk about. They used to talk about other things which have been popular, have been known to the people, especially the foreign tourists. So now they have to learn something new. So, there's a lot of things that we did, because we have to engage with art and culture people. They are also really feeling that difficulty, very stressful, and people are looking for punching bags. So punching bags are the people in the ministry, especially the ministers themselves. What do they know? They wrote in Facebook, what does Nancy know? Of course, I don't know anything, because we don't even know. Some of them, they don't even belong to us. When I say us, means the scope within our ministry, until I have to sit down with the MC minister, But a lot of things have to be discussed with all the agencies, all the industry players. But I must say that I thank all the industry players through the association, like MATA, MITA, all the associations. I can't remember all of them, because there's a time when we need to work together. There's a time when we are in trouble, we should work as a team. We cannot be finding faults, because it's not going to end up anywhere. You are not going to help to solve the problems. You need to talk it over. So the industry players give us, they gave us their views, and we try to fit in. And apart from that, during that time, we also help NGOs. NGOs, whereby they are mainly artists, where we help them with the food hampers. It's very sad, actually, when I recall, it's very sad to hear a lot of them. They could not go on with their lives. So therefore, I talked to our kebudayaan, TKSU kebudayaan, discussed with her, how can we help these people? Then she told me we have funds to help the NGOs. So this way we provided food, And then apart from that, we even have some sponsors working together with myself and the Minister for Unity, Dato Sri. We had a program, Unity program. We gave away some money, from the sponsorship to all the veteran artists. So, talking about all this, I find that 2020 has really taught us a lot of things in life, about patience. For me, I have to really be extra patient, because I have been the punching bag as well. But at the same time, I could find strength through the teamwork that I have in my ministry. So this is where And then suddenly the government also was looking for hotels to be used as quarantine centers. Then I could see the light at the end of the tunnel for them, though it may not really help much, but the thing is at least it's business for them. So I was a bit excited, I knew at least the hoteliers are being helped. And then when you help hoteliers, you are also helping the employees. And then our concern about restaurants, we closed down. So we talk about online promotion on the food. So a lot of interesting things happening because the kampong folks who have never used the PR code, QR code, sorry.
Yeah.
They know about QR code. That's why I say I had difficulty in remembering that because I learned from them about QR code, selling food. So we try to help as many as possible. Those who are in the industry, artists, painters. I went to the galleries and asked them, how are you? Of course, there were only 11 galleries near our handicraft center there. But there are others who are not there. And then I asked them, how are you affected? They said, well, we have our niche customers. They have already had that attachment with the customers, so they were not very badly affected. Though perhaps there were others who were badly affected, especially those at a different level. So we were concerned about all these.
Yeah.
But how much can we do?
Right. Now, listening to you, YB, I can sense that passion that you have, to help a lot of, to help people, not only businesses and industry, but to help people even on the ground. Yeah, you're talking about handicraft workers, restaurant owners, and really, Dato Sri, this is indeed a time where the whole industry should come together, work together. We are behind you, we support you, we want to support the ministry in all the activities and the events and all the activities that you want to do, we want to roll out. We definitely want to be behind you. But as I mentioned earlier, YB, I know there's so many things that the ministry have done, so many. But it is indeed very good to give YB now a platform to tell our hotelier friends, hotel industry, also the tourism industry people, what the effort the ministry is actually putting. There's so much effort. I think personally, I know, having spoken to you, the amount of things that you are doing, you're rolling out to help the industry revive again. So really, Dato Sri, we really hope that this year is going to be a year where we have a lot of learnings, and the year where we will also reflect. And moving into next year, which is in the next 2 days' time, we really hope that the new year will be before us, and we will all really hope to go through this year together with your ministry. But just to help us understand you or get to know you a little bit up close and personal, tell me, YB, who is Nancy Shukri?
Well, thank you, Hanley, for the support. Well, I come from a kampung, okay? So I understand. I have gone through a lot of things. That's Nancy, okay? I've gone through a lot of things. Well, I don't like to depend on people. I'm a very proud person because to me, you can succeed by working hard to achieve what you want to achieve. So that's why I always hold on to those principles that whatever that you do in life, it all depends on how you work for it. Never think of people who will be helping you, but the support is very much needed. And of course, I thank people, of course, my own parents, my families, my husband, my children. They gave me a lot of moral support But at the end of the day, it's for you to work for yourself. So I've been working on it. I've been selling food, since I was small. So I know what earning, working hard for your own success is like. That's why, you see, I used to own a cafe myself. I had to wake up very early in the morning. Early, when I say early, is very, very early, and then finish very late. So I know what it is like for those in business. To me, for those who are doing this business, especially those kedai kopi, you see the kopi tiap, they came. I saw they always open early in the morning, about 5 o'clock. I really appreciate them because it takes people who are really passionate about it. Because when I had my own cafe, I was not really thinking of just making money. Of course, when you do business, you need to have profit. But I was thinking of providing service to those who come to the cafe very early after they send their children to school. So I must make sure I must open at least 6:45 after sending my children to school. So 6:45 I must open, because some people will ask for my personal touch on my sandwiches, So it is more about providing the service apart from earning a living through my business. So nobody else can do it for you. It has to be yourself doing the business, and make sure you work very hard for it. And then with humility, you must make sure that you're doing it with sincerity for the people. So I know those who are doing business, it is not an easy thing for them to do, especially if they have big business. When they have big business, they need to feed a lot of people, their workers. So this is why I was very concerned about the lockdown. How are they going to earn their living? I went back to my own family members and looked into, those who are surrounding me. How can they survive? If they're working with the government, that's fixed income. The government is so kind and never cut their salary. But this is what I always reminded my staff. You people receive fixed income, but you must think of those people, because they depend so much on the income that they get from all these industries. If these industries, the economy is not growing, and their employers have to lay them off, where are they going to turn to? So this is my concern. So my personal concern. I have always been concerned about that, worried. That's why I always share with my officers, so that they can feel. We must feel for the people. Try to fit in their shoes, so that we can understand how they feel. We cannot simply give people direction. Okay, it's easy for you. You're hoteliers. You have big hotels, and then I'm sure you have a lot of money. We cannot think that way. We have to think whereby these people are providing service as well. Of course, they're doing business, but if there are no such kind of businesses in the country, there would be no place for people to stay if they come from other countries. So we have to think, holistic. For me, that is a guide for me to move on in carrying out my duty as a minister.
Yeah, thank you very much for that advice, YB. We have a lot of young listeners listening in, and I'm sure what you have just said is so encouraging. Yeah, and then with a lot of humility, we get to know this is our minister, our YB, Dato Nancy Shukri. Before we go, YB, just one last thing. Your words or your encouragement or your advice for 2021. What would you like to tell the tourism industry in 2021?
Well, thank you again, Hanley. Actually, before I end up, I've been receiving a lot of messages from my industry friends. They've been sharing with me, giving me all the courage, or the encouragement to move on, and then also for them to support me. So that's one thing that gives me the strength. They are the ones who gave me the strength for me to go on with my life, and then to prepare for the following year. So now 2020 has left us with a lot of memories, good memories, and of course some I don't say that they are bad memories, but those are lessons for us to learn as a guide for us to move on. And I look forward to have I've been talking about prosperous new year. Maybe I am just too ambitious to say that, but I believe it is all within us to think of and to plan what we can do to make the new year a better year for all of us. So let us work together as a team. As I say, we need to work as a team to give each other the strength to survive and also to move on to a better year. Because there's no point of crying over something without doing anything, without working to achieve it. So let us all work together as a team, industry players, or the whole of our nation, the whole Malaysian, all of us, let us work together. And you, Hanley, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share with all the people. But before that, I would like to wish you, to congratulate you, Hanley, on your new app called Just Tonight. So it will be launched in January 2021, and January is just 2 days away. So let us all hope and pray that we have a better January and you all will be successful. So let's see what is going to come to us in 2021. Thank you very much, Hanley.
We have been speaking with our Honourable Minister, Dato Sri Nancy Shukri, and this is Hotel Tales Chat Series. We wish all of you a happy new year, happy 2021, and like what Dato Sri said, a prosperous year ahead. Thank you very much for tuning in. Bye.
Thank you very much. Okay, bye.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My dear fellow Malaysians, as one of the world's most popular travel destinations, Malaysia has been hit hard by the global pandemic. Tourism is a big part of our economy, and our country's tourism sector is suffering. At risk are tens of thousands of businesses and the millions of Malaysians who depend directly or indirectly on the tourism industry for their jobs to put food on their tables. Your government has and is initiating several programs and activities to stimulate Malaysia's tourism sector to help sustain it and save Malaysia. But my fellow Malaysians, to truly save it, I humbly ask you to consider one thing: travel domestic. Plan a day trip, a weekend getaway, or more. Just travel domestic. Stay in our beautiful hotels, resorts, homestays, and hostels. Enjoy our beaches, dive sites, and golf courses. Don't resist the local makan. Visit all our IG-worthy hotspots, theme parks, and national parks. Book your trip with our tour companies, guides, and operators. Travel with our bus operators, our trains, airlines, ferries, and river boats. There's so much to see and do in Malaysia. Just go. Rediscover the joy of traveling domestic. Together, let's help save Malaysia's tourism sector and help our fellow Malaysians. The time is now. Travel domestic. And don't forget to practice social distancing. Wear your face mask and sanitize your hands often to stay safe always. Thank you.